Welcome to part 12 of Metroid Fusion. I'm Sire Goku, and we are about to start my least favorite section of this entire freaking game. Now that we have the auxiliary power back on, we can now use save and recharge rooms again. Hooray! But the elevators are still broken, so we need to get the main silo engine back on, which is shut off because of all of the vegetation, apparently, from what Adam is saying. And so yeah, we gotta go and get rid of that. And right here, as you can see, everything in the reactor core is kind of taken over by all of these vines. And I'm gonna say right now, this section took me like 12 tries to record, because I just kept dying over and over and over again. I hate this section of the game. This is by far the hardest section of the entire game. You wanna know why? Because right at the beginning of Sector 2, we have an SAX fight! Well, chase scene. And it's the only time in the game where you're required to be, chased by it. There's no way to avoid getting seen by it, and yeah, you will not believe how many tries that actually took me. Seriously, I had like 12 takes of this where I just kept getting killed right there. Because as you notice right there, the SAX can basically kill you in 1 or 2 hits. Unless you've been going out of your way to collect a whole bunch of energy tanks. But even with energy tanks, like, it's got the ice beam, which does, as you can see, it does 5 full frickin' things of damage. So it does 500 damage per hit. That is ridiculously overpowered. And that is the only time in the game where you're required to avoid getting attacked by her. Because because it's always going to notice you. But not only was that part hard, this entire section is kind of annoying because you have to keep dealing with all these bee-type enemies that... And with all these branches in the way, you'd think with all the branches getting in the way it would block a lot of the enemies from, damaging you. If anything, the branches make it only hinder you, because these bees, they just freaking home in on you. It's ridiculous. I believe they're like reskins of some of the enemies that were in Super Metroid. I know that enemy right there is. Again, I don't know enemy names, so Oh yeah, right there. They can be trapped inside the actual vines and all that, but they just charge right for you. The only upside to this is by far the shortest sector of the game, because we're already at the boss. It's only 2 rooms. And this freaking boss, once you get its pattern down, it's easy, but it takes literally no time at all to basically kill you. If it hits you once and you fall into those Venus flytraps, you're dead. There's no way you can get out. Unless you have a lot of energy. Like, if you have a lot of life, you might be able to make it out, but I am convinced that if you fall in those Venus flytraps, you're just dead. So, this is the best strategy I can give. Just take out the 2 weird orb things that those smaller plants are shooting at you, and then every couple of seconds turn around and shoot a couple of missiles at it. Once you take out the first form, though, and it starts using the plasma beam on you, then it's a lot easier, especially right now, because for some reason it felt like constantly using the lower shot, which all you gotta do is jump over. If it only shoots the upper shot, then you're golden, because all you gotta do is duck. And from this point, and because it takes so many missiles to get rid of, you're gonna have to spend a few seconds trying to get your missiles back. Thankfully, if you shoot the Core X with just the beam, it'll spit out yellow and green X parasites so you can refill on your missiles. Just like every core X, it's easy enough. But because of the smaller room, it takes a while to, take it down because it's how it moves. But for beating it, you get the plasma beam, which is the strongest beam in the game. And thank God, I am done with the hardest section of this entire game. Maybe I'm bad at this game, but my God. That section, this entire video took me like 3 hours, well, not 3 hours, when I was recording this, I had to have restarted this at least 12 or 13 times. So I spent about an hour and a half just trying to get this recording right. Maybe I'm just not good at this section. Maybe I'm just particularly not good at the game, or at least this particular section of the game. But my God, this, to me, is by far the hardest section of the game. And that is the hardest boss of the game. But now that we have the plasma beam, we can move on and we can go to Adam and let him know that the vegetation is fixed and all that. I was tempted to just stop the video as soon as I beat the boss until I realized that when I beat the boss it had only been 6 minutes into the video. I'm like, see, it shouldn't be that hard. But the combination of that SAX section plus that boss, just the fact that the boss can basically one-shot you if you mess up. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough about that. You already watched me go through it. Now I get to actually... Now, without the fear of SAX chasing after you, you're free to explore the rest of this section. And as far as I know, I don't think there's much more we can do here, because a lot of the stuff you can get here requires you having the screw attack. And we don't have the screw attack yet. Don't you love, when they finally give you you go through the game and you see all these power bomb stuff. Like right here, for example. That kind of was going to take what I was saying out of context. It was don't you love when games finally give you what you want? You keep seeing all these things that oh man, I wish I could open that, but I don't have the item yet. And then when you finally get the item, you never see those parts of the game again. You have to physically backtrack to see those particular things again, because when they finally give you the item, then you never find a use for them ever again afterwards. That's what it feels like sometimes with this game. It's hey, I got power bombs, and every time you run into a new area, you need screw attack to get through this part. God dang it, game. Why do I need the screw attack now that I have the power bomb? Oh well. Hey, Adam. No thanks to you, I finally got that. What? You restored the plasma beam functionality? Dang right I did. Most unexpected. Shut up. Even so, continue to avoid the SAX. It too may be stronger. No, you don't say. It only killed me 7 times. And you still lack a few abilities crucial to survival. Wait a second. More trouble. Hold on. So many ellipses. Adam. I've isolated the cause. Oh, good. There's been an explosion in the ARC data room. Oh, God, again? We gotta go back there again? Well, yeah. The damage is staggering. Find out what's causing it. And at this point, we've basically been to every sector, so now we're just gonna be backtracking for the remainder of the game. Some people may not like that. Some people may not like that. That's the last minor nitpick I guess I can point out, is that because this game is so small, it kind of feels like you're doing the same thing over and over again. As opposed to something like Super Metroid, where it feels really big. Honestly, I think this game's about as big as Super Metroid in terms of the map. It just feels smaller because you're playing it on a Game Boy game. Or Game Boy Advance. Oh well. It's gotten worse. The damage seems to have been caused by... A creature known as the Nightmare. Sorry about that. My computer kind of went haywire on me. So Sector 5 is being destroyed by this thing called a Nightmare. And this is probably the last hard boss of the entire game. And that's, again, back when I first played this game, it's probably because it was my first time playing, and I didn't know what to do, so it made things harder than it should have been. But this entire section, like the last sector and this upcoming sector in a row, almost made me hate this game. I won't say it's an extreme difficulty spike, it's more just a frustrating difficulty spike if you're not prepared for it. Overall, I don't think this game is that difficult. It's not one of those games where you have to play it first in order to know what's coming to make it seem easier. It's not that hard if you're just cautious, but like 14-year-old me when I first played this game was like, what do I do? Why are things... See, like right there, that entire wall right there that you need screw attack to get through? Also, I have no idea how to get that missile. There are certain missiles and energy tanks that I never get in this game, mainly because I just don't know how to get them. I'm sure there's probably like some hidden wall in that room that I can break through, or maybe if I have the screw attack and I break through that wall, there's like a hidden passageway that warps me back into that room. But this is why I'm not doing a 100% run. But oh yeah, you know that Nightmare that Adam mentioned? Yeah, that enemy really did do a number on this area. Holy crap, everything's completely destroyed here. And at this point, I'm trying to, out of principle, like I want to get this missile expansion because I know I can. I just don't remember how to do it. So I know because you noticed earlier there was that breakable floor right underneath the missile expansion, but I don't know how to get to it. But yeah, we've been here before, but it didn't look nearly like this. It's completely obliterated. Well, the bottom part of that room was already destroyed by that Core X that we fought earlier, but now everything is destroyed in here. It's crazy. The upside is it just makes things a little simpler to get through because we've already been through here, and most of the enemies are already destroyed. But now we have a water section without the gravity suit. Oh joy. Also, yeah, right there, space pirates can absorb X-parasites and they can learn to swim. That's not fair. Why is it when we absorb the fish's X-parasite, we can't learn to randomly swim, but the random space pirates that are controlled by the X-parasites can? That's awkward. Anyway. Like most underwater sections in games, you move ridiculously slow underwater. I don't understand that. Well, at least with Samus it makes a little bit of sense because she's in a suit of armor. So being in a heavy suit of armor underwater would probably make you move super slow. Of course, Mega Man would say otherwise because apparently he can have random super moon jump underwater. I don't know why. But yeah, there's not much more to say about this sector. You move super slow under the water, and you just have to deal with powered-up space pirates that can swim now. There are some hidden passageways. Well, I wouldn't say hidden. More just like breakable floors, so you can explore further inside. I'm saying that a lot. Well, that's the main point of Metroid, is to explore, so yeah, I am going to say explore a lot. That's the whole point of the game. God, I love power bombs. Also, for some reason, Nintendo likes to have you use power bombs to find power bomb upgrades. Okay, then. Thankfully, that guy decided to give me a red X parasite, so I had, yay, full healing. The plasma beam kind of eliminates the need for power bombs, but it's so satisfying just blowing up a freaking room with power bombs. Up there is the boss door to fight the Nightmare, but I figured I would save that for the next video because I'm already at 15 minutes or so. So in the next video, we're going to go and fight the Nightmare. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you then.